you hear me? Let's do a quick test. If any of you have seen the Adam Sandler movie, Fairy Tale or something, and they talk about Nottingham, I say nodding, you say ham, nodding. Let's do it a little different, because that's no fun. Ready? I say come and you say take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. I still don't think you're hearing me good. Let's do it one more time. I say come and you say take it. Come and take it. Come and take it. Now we're on the same page. Good to be with you all. I want to talk to you real quick about things both here and nationally. You know, I write a lot of what I write is national, but I also write about issues here. But I want you to think about this. Here you have SB 1625. I've seen the signs around. Very important piece of legislation. They're so benevolent, they are, that they will give you the option to register your AR-15 or surrender it. Very benevolent, those Democrats that sponsored that, right? Folks, no. So we can't do SB 1625, but talking about it is not enough. It has to translate into phone calls, into emails, into tweets, into all kinds of communication. That's what we have to do. When we think about nationally, you saw in Virginia on January 20th, 2020, what were there, 25,000 people gathered? But what happened over the last 2 weeks? The Democrat-controlled legislature passed 8 gun controls. They don't care about the rally. They don't care about this rally. The only way that rally has force is if those people show up and vote in November. That's the way this rally will have force. You show up and you vote, and you don't go by yourself. Take somebody with you to vote. It's not that corny. You're saving your country. Take somebody with you. And before you do that, do as Alan said when he was up here. Take them shooting. I don't think he's the only one who said it. I don't know what your experience is, and it's very dangerous when you begin to compare experiences. But my experience is I've never shot with anyone who didn't want to go shooting again. Someone especially who's been scared of guns their whole life, you take them shooting and they want to go again, and oftentimes they want to buy a gun so they take their own gun next time. And we all know once somebody gets used to shooting a gun and carrying a gun for self-defense, they're not going to vote for people who want to take away the ability to shoot a gun and carry a gun for self-defense. So that's a way that you can bring in pro-gun voters without even knowing the lingo. Just take them shooting. But if you don't do it, SB 1625 won't just be pushed in Arizona. It'll be pushed in every state where the Democrats take control. What we see happening in Virginia right now, as I say, 8 gun control bills have already passed the House. I think the Senate will start taking them up this week. Governor Ralph Northam has already made clear he's going to sign every one of them that hits his desk. That state is going to crumble under the weight of gun control. The only hope for it is that all the people who attended that January 20th rally show up and vote in November. Now listen, we've looked at states, we've looked at states across the country, look at Arizona. Think about the national situation. There is a moderate Democrat. Now listen, I've never met one. They say there is such a creature. I've never met one. I've always heard they exist, and then when they start talking, they sound like Mike Bloomberg. And Mike Bloomberg supports an assault weapons ban, which is the Democrat way of saying your SKS, your AR-15, your AK-47. They want to ban that. They want to ban your high-capacity magazines. You know what that means in Virginia? 12 rounds. 12 rounds is high. In New York, it's 7. So it depends on what state you're in. I don't know what Bloomberg's plan is, but he wants to ban high-capacity magazines, whatever the arbitrary rule is.
Everything except revolvers.
And he wants to criminalize private gun sales. And we could go on and on. I've talked to people here. You remember after the Texas church shooting? I think it was December 29th, 2019. Jack Wilson shot that attacker and killed him within seconds. Bloomberg comes out later that day, and what's he say? I'm glad the people are safe, but congregants shouldn't be armed. Only law enforcement. Look, I support law enforcement. But the thing is, I got to have a plan between the 3.5 minutes when I call them and they get to my house, or the 12.5 minutes, depending on where you live, or the 27 minutes If you're in rural Colorado, if it's 27 minutes, what are you going to do for 27 minutes? You're going to barter? You're going to beg for mercy? You're going to offer up one of your kids to try to appease the animal? No, sir. You come in my house, I'm going to cut you in half with a 12 gauge. And that should be all of our attitudes, right? But the Democrats want to take that away at the state level and at the national level. So we're motivated to vote. We vote not just to stop SB 1625 in Arizona, but we vote to stop the attacks like we see in Virginia, and we vote to be sure the presidency doesn't go to a gun grabber like Bloomberg. If we don't vote, someone before me, I heard him say that how important this election is. It's crucial because we're right on the cusp of a true victory. You know, we're one Supreme Court justice away, and that a lot of people forget that. We're one justice away from ruining the Democrats' dreams for decades, right? We have Gorsuch, we have Kavanaugh. We need one more, and that means we need 4 more years. We need 4 more years. I'm just telling you, folks, I'm glad you're here. And I hope when you go shooting next weekend, you take someone new with you you've never taken. And I hope they take someone with them after that. And then when you go vote, so many people are going, y'all have to take a van to get to the voting booth. I hope that's how it works. That's what we have to do. All this energy has to translate into voters in the booth. We have to stay focused. One more time. I say, come in. You say, take it. Come in. Come in. Thank you, guys.